What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Dent Digest live show, episode number 47. And this one has been in the works for a couple weeks. My guest today was the week that I got sick. So we've been scheduling back and forth and trying to get him on here with his schedule. He's got some big news coming too. And, just trying to get him on here. So besides that, I hope all you guys are doing well. We had a big winner last week, Reed, for the Ants and Glue giveaway. So, Reed, your package is coming. It's a little bit of craziness here in Maryland with the coronavirus. It's a little crazy everywhere. So, but let's get our guest on here and get through this. It's going to be a pretty good show. We've got a lot of good topics, a lot of good stuff, trying to figure out how you're operating your business, during the trying times that we have going on in America right now, actually all over the world. So the other thing, there are a couple of events. You have Ants and IMI training in April, right before their open house, the Friday before their open house. You have Anson open house on that Saturday. You also have Kiko's glue pulling training that Friday also. So there's two really good events on that Friday. You can't complain. Learning is you can never know too much. So you always have to try to stay up with your tactics and your game. So let's get this guest on here. Let me stop rambling. Mr. Ray Sapnew, what's going on?
What's up?
How are you?
How you doing, man? I'm good. Considering,
It's a little crazy here, It's a little crazy in America.
It is. It's a weird time we're in right now.
It's that uncertainty,
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Yeah. There's a lot of speculation.
Oh, it's I don't even know how to explain it. I was talking to my mom the other day about it, and she said, I remember it wasn't like this, but I remember sitting and waiting in line to get gas, and they were picking license plate numbers and odd and even, and you would go and you would get in line and you would wait, and it was that same uncertainty feeling.
Wow.
The same uncertainty that we're feeling, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's scary times. So you've got some big news, a little bit of change for Mr. Sapnew now.
A little bit.
So what's going on? Let's get into that.
Well, I opened a shop. As you know, as long as I've known you, I've been a hail chaser. So I've been chasing hail the last 10 years and finally decided to get off the road. Tired of living out of a suitcase and being away from my family. So decided to open a shop, and I just opened. Just got my keys.
Great timing.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, dude. It was funny because I just opened. I got, approval. I got my inspections all approved, and everything was good. And then all this goes down, and everyone's freaking out over toilet paper. I'm like, I go, dude, no one's gonna care about a door ding. I'm like, they're gonna be wasting their cars in the parking lot to Walmart to get toilet paper.
Yes.
And they're not gonna care.
It's crazy. That
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of in a slight little panic, man. I kind of freaked out.
This will come to the highest bidder. The highest bidder.
I couldn't find any of that either, man. I'm glad I had a couple bottles stashed away, but
don't forget.
Man, you better hide that.
Don't forget your Keystone and LKQ also sells alcohol. So my local Keystone. Yeah, it's this stuff, the platinum finish stuff. So
I've
got a local Keystone friend, corporate guy. So he says they've got plenty in stock. So, if you need some, that's the place to get it. That's a secret spot.
Oh, not no more.
And now it's out there.
You better text that guy and tell him he's getting ready for an influx.
And I just saw something you posted the other day about, what was it? Your card you got in the mail. What was the organization you signed up with?
The card I got in the mail?
Yeah, it was like your ID card. I can't even think about it. It's terrible.
My NAPDART. Yeah.
NAPDART. That's it.
Yeah. I was a member. I've been a member, but then at MTE, you know, I went and stopped by their booth, say hi, and Mike Wall's like, "Hey, man, send me your info, and we're gonna send out new cards and send out stickers." And yeah, man, it was really cool. It turned out really good, and I don't know, man. I just think it's important to support organizations like that, because you know they're out there getting the info and working, helping us, and they've got our backs if we need them, and you know, I think it's just important supporting organizations like that, PDR Nation and NapDart, you know.
ARC, you know, Haxon's
ARC,
in here.
oh, dude, ARC for sure.
You
Mr.
know,
Haxon.
I'll tell you, I watched the PDR interviews last night, and with Ian, Robert Castillo.
Oh yeah, Randy's. Yep.
Randy, it was so good. It was a really good, because Robert's very enthusiastic and very knowledgeable.
Oh yeah.
So it was a really good show last night. So if you guys missed that, go back to the PDR interviews and make sure you catch that, because it was a really, really, really good show last night.
And between all three of those guys, my God,
and Toledo had a good one too. I mean, Mike had a good show yesterday, just trying to go over what's going on and how to kind of stay in your groove. And we'll get into that later. You know, I kind of want to get into you a little bit. And how long have you been doing Paintless?
I started in '95.
Okay.
And I was, you know, wholesale. We did dealerships, body shops, the rent a cars, and retail. These are typical route work stuff. We did that for about 12 years, 10 years, 12 years. And I moved up to Denver, and I was solely doing rentals up there. And then in 2009, it was like the end of 2008, 2009, that crash, and the rent-a-car companies, you know, they reshifted their reconditioning program, and they were trying to save money, so they cut PDR out completely.
Yeah, of course.
And in 2009, I was like, well, I went from making really good money a month to nothing in literally one day, overnight. And I got lucky. A friend of ours was out in Austin, Texas, 2009. So why don't you come out and chase some hail? And you always hear about the hail guys and the hail stories. And I was like, man, great opportunity, perfect timing. Went out there, fell in love with it right away, and never turned back. It was solely hail chaser for 10 years. It was fun, man.
You roll with some serious guys. You had a pretty good run. You know, you were rolling with Clifton and, you know, doing some work with him last year at up at Don's place. Yeah.
Yep. That was actually really, really cool. That was a good storm in so many ways. Not only just the work, I mean, the camaraderie and the friendships made and everything that we learned. You know, I mean, we had the Cordons up there. Randy was up there. You know, Clifton. We had Sean Mills as our R&I guy, and then obviously seeing Don and his guys and how they operate. I tell you, man, that shop, he's got this door that dings every time it opens. Dude, you had to have headphones on. Otherwise, just a ding, ding, ding all day long.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Busy.
No, absolutely not. That was a beautiful thing. And then seeing him operate, I mean, Don, you know, everybody knows who Don is. That dude's just awesome. And seeing him interact with his customers and how passionate he is all the time. It's not just with this person or just with this conversation. It's every single person, every conversation. He's truly, truly passionate about what he does. And it was awesome to see that and learn. I learned a lot from being up there.
So what was from you going from hail to the shop environment, what did you learn from chasing hail for so long?
Going into this now?
Yes. What did you take from that on the business end that you think is going to be an advantage for you with running a retail shop?
Well, I think
I got you
over
thinking.
all the years of
look at that.
Yeah. Over all the years of doing what I've done, I think now going into the shop, one thing I have to learn now, I'm learning how to actually run a business per se, right? As a hail chaser, you know, I was a subcontractor. The work's already done. The work's already there. I get called in. I unload my tools. I throw in my headphones and I just go to town. Right. So now transitioning into this, I'm like learning all sorts of stuff, marketing, advertising, expenses, all of that stuff. Now, when it comes to dents, I could sell dents. I know dents. Been doing it a long time. I know the value of it. I, went to classes and the education days at MTE and stuff. I've learned so much over the years.
Yeah.
That I could do all that, but what I'm learning now is to actually how to run a brick and mortar, and it's a world of difference, man. Sales, terrible at sales. I don't know. I'm not good at sales. I think I'm a good people person, but I don't know. If somebody says no, we don't need you, I go okay. I kind of walk out.
Well,
because I also don't like hounding people, but I have to learn how to reshift that
And I think personality helps sells too, man, without even trying.
Well, yeah, but you got to still try to convince people, But
it's easy.
I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Are you ever really ready? I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's and you picked the absolute worst time in history to open up a retail location.
I know. I thought the timing was perfect. I'm like, 2020, man, new decade. It's going to be awesome, man. Yeah. No, man. Also, this comes out of left field. And
yeah. It came from MTE. It originated at MTE.
I think so, man. Who's the culprit?
It's
who showed up there sick?
What would you say about MTE this year?
Dude, this year, well, first of all, MTE is awesome. It's like, you know that. It's awesome every year. This year was great. It was crazy. It was so busy. There were so many people there. It was a great venue. I felt like I was talking to somebody and I described it as, you're always on the run. You're constantly moving. You're talking to a million people. And it's like, you have all these little 5-minute conversations, 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 5 minutes. And I'm trying to walk with my wife to go get something to eat.
Takes you 3 hours.
Yeah. And it's just because you see friends and you see people that you know, or that you haven't seen in forever. And, it was really busy and it was really cool. Like I said, the venue was cool. A lot of people showed up. There were some great booths and tools, and the PDR playground thing was awesome. And it was cool. It was a little overwhelming because it was so busy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it was fun, man. I mean, I saw you a couple times for what, 30 seconds a piece.
Yeah, I didn't get much of the show. I work with Mark, just trying to get Mark handled, and and he crushed it.
Blem there. Yeah,
took a lot of work, bro. Took a lot of work. He knew he had to be there.
He had to, man.
I think Daniel and I were really pushing him, and he knows that he has to be there. I think the numbers were there. He just his approach on getting there and going to the show is going to be different than he did because he drove. So he drove 18 hours in a truck loaded with tools, and then we set up, and he worked all week and then drove home. So we got Jesse in here. He's saying it's hard to pull the trigger, but when you do, it's awesome. He's talking about a retail location.
Oh, yeah, Jesse, you know what? You're right. I mean, it was funny with the day I was signing that piece of paper, man. I was so crazy nervous, but it was here we go, jumping in head first. It was a little earlier than I really wanted to, but the opportunity was there. The deal was really good. I couldn't pass it up. So I just jumped on it. It was one of those, I'm just going to jump on this and figure it out later. The price is right. The location's good. But you're right. It was a little tough to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in there, it's been great, man. My wife, she came in and helped me clean, and we painted. We got the place looking all good, and I still need some stuff. But, I walk in there now, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. I get excited,
Yeah. So I've got one tool I want to talk about that I brought on. I just told Ray
Is it
like
sponsored by Corona?
So I just told Ray, I was like, hey, if you want to bring some tools, he goes, yeah, I don't have any. They're at the shop. And I'm like, okay, cool.
They're all at the shop. Normally they'd be in my garage.
So this tool I've talked about for a year. Okay. And I love this tool. It was amazing. And I called Chad. Today. I called Chad and said, you're doomed. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, because this thing is trash now. That one doesn't even get used. His new hammer, this thing is even better.
Oh, dude. I'm jealous.
So I got this at MTE.
I don't have those tips. I want those tips.
And I was a huge advocate for I said, you're making me look like a fool. And he's like, why is that? And I said, because I've been pushing that crown jewel because it's amazing. Because I do a ton of roofs, a lot of crown work. And I said, this thing is amazing. It just is. It really, I said, we're friends, but I am telling you, it's just an amazing, badass tool. So he came out with this and he's like, try this. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't have the tips at MTE because I gave them away to a guy in Belgium. And
I remember that.
I got these in the mail. And this right here, I called him. Like, I used it for like 2 days and I called him and I said, man, you're killing me. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I like this small hammer better than the crown jewel. And he's like, why? It just, it's lighter.
Is it?
It's lighter. I don't know, man.
Are those tips available now? Because
Yes.
when I was at MTE, I showed up and I think he was like, dude, they're gone, right?
Yeah.
Just missed them. And if they're available, I need to pick some up because I've been wanting them. They look good. I just used my crown jewel today too now. Am I going to end up tossing that one like you just did?
Hey, dude, you know what I mean? I mean, this thing has replaced it in my bag. It's replaced it in my cart. So, it sucks because, that thing is just awesome, but this is just better. And as we're talking about better tools, I don't know if you guys know or not, Ray makes a badass mini lifter called the Lift Right. And it is a dangerous piece of material because it will pull the inner structure out of a car.
You got to be careful. Match that thing up with some dead centers on aluminum. Oof. Look out.
Guys saying, where's your shop, Ray?
Matt. Oh, yeah. Shop's in Chicago, southwest suburbs of Chicago.
And then Jesse's saying, having a brick and mortar shop is amazing. It actually feels like you have something you can be passionate about. I miss that about PDR New York. Maybe I'll start one PDR Texas.
Oh yeah, Jesse, you moved down to Dallas.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you know what? I get up in the morning, I get excited to go to the shop, and it's funny. I got the keys and the whole thing. Turn the key, you walk in, it's your place, and
I don't know.
There's that sense of weird sense of pride. I mean, you always have pride in your work and all this, but then all of a sudden you got this place, you walk in and it's yours, and it's a cool feeling for sure. And it motivates you because literally it's just you, right? It's just me. I don't have salesmen. I don't have anybody to depend on to get work or anything. That's all on me. And so it motivates me to keep hammering down on marketing or keep trying to think of new ways to reach out to people and sell the product, right? Yeah, it's cool. I'm learning so much every day.
Do you, on your product, on your Lift Right, do you have anything new coming out this year? What is your
well, what I can talk about is we do have a version 2 of the Lift Right. I saw a prototype that we had made a couple weeks ago, and it's nice. It's nice. It's still a ways out from being ready, and factor in the fact that China shut down.
Yeah.
But when it comes out, I think people are going to enjoy it. They're going to like it. We made some changes that I think over the last year and a half, 2 years, or however long it's been out now. I've been getting so much feedback, and great feedback. The guys and the girls that are using it, they're reaching out and they tell me, what's good about it and what's bad about it and everything. And they throw out suggestions. Hey, what about this? Or, hey, you should do this. And believe me, I listen to all of it, and I take all of it into consideration. And there were a couple things that were voiced more than others. So we looked into that, and some of those changes have been made or are going to be made. And we're going to add a few other cool little things to it. But when the time comes, I'll be able to talk about it more. But I don't know. Hopefully this will breed some excitement for it.
Danny's saying, I'm glad Jesse left to Texas. He was my cheapest competitor. Oh, man. But no, I mean, your lift right, it's just different. And I did a review on it not long after I had it. And I was explaining the difference from a robo lifter to your lifter and how you almost need both of them in your glue kit. And I'm still a big believer in that. I use both on different instances.
Sure.
Yours,
absolutely.
Far reach in the middle of a roof. Pow.
Oh yeah.
You know
That's where it shines.
The robo lifter, you're kind of all the way up here. Rails, I use yours on rails, but I do use the robo lifter in weird sections to where I've got to get in there weird. And you really need both. And the build quality of that thing is badass.
It's solid. It's nice. It took a long time to get it to that too. I wish I would have kept some of the other prototypes over the 4 years of development, because it would have been like the evolution of man, kind of like the evolution of the lift right. But I think we got it right. And you know what? There was never any intention to replace anything. It was just another option. I think it was just a design that needed to be made and come out. Obviously, there's awesome lifters that are out there already, and they have, specific uses, and they shine in other ways, but the lift right has its own, place too. So, and
you made some adjustments halfway through.
Oh yeah.
With the gnarled top, some guys were pinching their hands, you made some adjustments in there. Taylor Hale is saying, man, I have no idea how you can make the lift right any better. I beat that thing up, wouldn't change a thing. So got some happy people in here,
And that's good to hear. Thanks, Taylor. But like I said, there were subtle changes, minor changes. There's two things that I think will make its functionality better. So yeah, we're excited about it. I'm excited about it. When we finally got that prototype, and it was way better than I expected. And I was going, oh, hell yeah. The kids are going to love this one.
Good. And they can get that where at your website?
They get the current version of the lift right now at precisionpdrtools.com. Cool.
So let's get into this coronavirus a little bit.
Dude, I don't know about you. You're Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are right there by New York, and right now New York's that crazy episode. That's like they're freaking out there.
It's pretty crazy here. It's that element of unknown. My wife's in the health field, so she's kind of on high alert and knows things that most people don't know.
She's got the inside scoop.
But the hard part is making those business decisions, because I've got my two guys and making the business decisions that everybody's safe. Okay. Yeah. You're wearing gloves every day now. We're making sure we're distanced. We're trying to limit our exposure to different people. And that's a lot of companies, a lot of body shops, because I do a lot of body shops, are saying, how's it going out there? And I'm like, it's really tough. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I really need to make a business decision. And they're like, what do you mean? And I said, I need to figure out when it's time for us to cut it off.
Yeah. And you still have to interact with people,
Well,
in a way.
My explanation of that whole thing is okay, you go to work at a body shop. You have 15 people that work at a body shop. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're seeing that same 15 people for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm seeing 15 people 8 times a day. I'm in 8 different shops on the road.
Dude, and then multiply that by all the people they interact with.
Yes.
You know,
My
on a daily
exposure,
basis.
our exposure is way more than most. I'm not saying other businesses don't have the same problem, but you know, it's, I don't know, man. But you know, the other thing we talked about right before we came on here, like Monday and Tuesday, traffic's super dead. You know, really nothing going on. Roads were empty. Today, traffic as usual.
And today, everyone's already sick and tired of sitting at home.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're like, I can't take my wife anymore. I'll tell you one thing, I would want another business thing right now. I'm giving you a tech tip, guys. Go online, start becoming a divorce lawyer because you're going to make millions of dollars.
Well, like we were saying, all right, so for those of you that don't know, my wife is a 911 dispatch for local police department here, and they're already gearing up for an increase in domestic violence calls.
Oh yeah, it's
Because
crazy.
everyone's sitting at home.
You can't even buy bullets here in Maryland. Everything's gone.
Oh, same here. They're gone. There was a line at Bass Pro. All right, so the ammunition shelves are empty.
Yeah.
And there was a line outside of Bass Pro yesterday morning, I believe, and there was 40 people in line to purchase firearms. I know a friend of mine was there. I didn't go, but a friend of mine went there to go buy ammo, and he said there was a line of 40 people at the door before they opened, and he asked them all what they were there for, and they said to purchase firearms.
It's crazy.
I was like, man, I don't know. I have enough of both firearms and ammo, so I'm good.
Yeah, me too. I'm in Baltimore, so we got all kind of stuff, so we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
But
well, shit, you guys already survived a lockdown.
yeah,
right?
we've been through the martial law thing, so we're good. We're already greased and ready to go.
You guys are like, we got this.
So you know, what is your approach here? You know, I would listen to Mike's stuff, listen to PDR interview stuff. You know, I think for dent guys that are sitting at home, if they're not working, I can see it's been kind of weird with our retail stuff. At first I thought it would be really, really slow, but it seems like everybody wants to get it done while they're home.
So yeah, and I think this is a great opportunity. I told you I was standing in my shop, freaking out because it was the worst time. What am I going to do? Nobody cares about dents. My phone rang, and it was a customer, a friend of ours actually, said, "Hey, the kids are out of school. Their sports are all canceled. We work from home. We have 2 cars. We don't need them. Now is a perfect time for you to take our car." And I was like, hey, this is great. They live an hour and a half away. So it was always hard to kind of make that work logistically with their kids in sports and Caden with her after school stuff. Anyway, so she was like, it's a perfect time. I was like, great. Let's get your car in here. She dropped it off. And she's like, keep it for 2 weeks if you want. And all of a sudden a light bulb hit. I'm like, dude, there you go. So I kind of reshifted my marketing. I kind of blasted it out there. Hey, you know, take advantage of this opportunity for those of you that are sitting at home that won't be needing your car, you know, need to be using your vehicles. Maybe now's a good time for you to leave your car with me. And all of a sudden, dude, yesterday, 2 days ago, I had 3 cars in the shop, but all 3 customers said, you could keep my car for 2 weeks if you want. I went from having nothing to all of a sudden just busy this whole week. You know, I got cars already scheduled into next week. So I guess the moral of the story is, you know, don't give up, look for opportunities. And right now is a great opportunity. Look, all the guys that are sitting at home going, man, I just didn't have time to work on my website. I didn't have time to put together some content. You know, dude, now is the time. Because look, everyone's sitting at home. What are they doing?
Exactly. Yep.
They're doing this, right? So blast social media, blast Instagram, blast Facebook. You know, you could actually probably turn off your Google AdWords. Not suggesting that, but look, everyone's sitting at home on social media right now. Right now is the hot time to be, marketing yourself and really working on your brand and working on your website, working on your content. I'm learning a ton. Like, I'm trying to add stuff to my website. Like I said, I'm trying to learn about all this marketing stuff. I'm learning about landing pages and stuff like
Oh
this.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to build that so that while people are doing this,
No, it's crazy.
scrolling,
And
they're going to see my brand here locally.
you figure with branding, it takes 7 to 10 times for someone to see your logo to remember it.
Yeah. Yep.
7 to 10 impressions, whatever the
Yep.
impressions is. And what they've realized is on these impressions, they're realizing different types of impressions. So they can see your picture on Facebook
Sure.
7 times, but okay, if they see it on Instagram, they see it on your Google page, they see it on your website, somebody shares it. Your
Yes.
biggest thing you have out there, and Toledo is a huge push on this. Google My Business because it's free. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is
Huge.
have family and friends share your post. Have a
Mm-hmm.
really good post and share it. Have them share it. Usually, if you get in between 3 to 5 shares on one post, you'll have over 1,200 views on a post.
Yeah. People will see it. It's that effect, that ripple effect. It goes
Yes.
out and out and out. And I'm, I've been really fortunate. I got family and friends that are real supportive and they share it. And, all of a sudden I'll get videos and pictures that were viewed, a couple thousand times.
It's crazy.
It is. And that's what people need to start doing. Look, man, I'm going to try to put so much stuff out there that people are sick of seeing me. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. I want to be that household. You're talking about logos and stuff. See that logo on my back right there?
Oh yeah.
That one. I want that to be like a household image.
Yeah.
Here locally.
Yeah.
I want people to know what PDR actually means.
Taylor says he said numerous people cancel appointments because they didn't want to come out, but we've changed our approach and offered to make house calls. Matt ended up going to 3 different referrals just because of one person took advantage of the mobile option. It's very true. I think is that Matt Moore's guy?
Yeah, that's Matt Moore's shop.
And I saw that. I actually called Matt. We were playing phone tag today, and I'm a big mobile guy. So, but yeah, I mean, mobile service. How are you approaching the vehicles with your personal protection equipment? Are you wiping them down? Are you wearing gloves?
I mean, we've got the hand sanitizer. I'm always wearing gloves when I work. It's just always been a habit. But yeah, I mean, just because of my own personal precautions, I'm washing my hands more so than I ever did. I've got a huge jug of sanitizer at my shop and at my house. I've got a little thing in my truck and, the wipes and stuff. And, if I'm marketing that I'm taking the precautions, then you have to take the precautions too, right? And so when the customers come in, I just greet them. We don't shake hands. They see that there's the sanitizing wipes right there in the cart, right next to the car, and you gotta play the game, and you gotta be you gotta take precautions, and it's just the world we're in right now, unfortunately. But hey, people aren't freaking out as much as everybody thinks. I think customers are seeing the opportunities that are there now. Also, they're like, yeah, this is a great time. I've been wanting to get this dent fixed, but now it's perfect. And I think they see that, so they're going to be doing it. So the work will come. I think we'll get through it. And, the more you market yourself and build your brand, when this is all over, you'll be that much more ahead of the game too.
Yeah. And I'm big on routine. As you can see, I do this every Thursday night. And, routine is what's going to get you through. I literally, some of my posts are scheduling posts, man. I mean, that's an option too that, and you can schedule posts to where it'll post on Instagram and Facebook and you don't have to do a damn thing.
I need to learn that too. I've been seeing it. I've seen people doing it. I know Eiley does it a lot. You just pre-make it all, right?
Yeah. I'll do it on a Sunday and go in and set a whole bunch whole bunch of post up, and you can get it to post 3 times a day, and you don't have to do a damn thing.
Oh,
You
you
know?
schedule it; it'll do it for you.
Boop, 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 boop. You know, I'm big on the morning. I get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. I'm an old man now. And I just sit up and post in the morning a lot of times. You know what I mean? First thing.
Yeah. I mean, when I wake up, man, and I get up and I get my coffee and I'm doing my morning scroll or whatever. Yeah, I see your stuff all the time. I'm like, damn, he was up early. Fuck.
It's terrible, dude.
You're East Coast,
even a Saturday, I'll wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning, and my wife's like, "What in the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "I was always told when you get old, you don't sleep." And I was like, "When you go to bed at 6,
you're there.
You know what I mean?" So
9 o'clock, you're like, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible. You know, we've gone to, we're all wearing rubber gloves in our daily. I supplied gloves to all the guys. We're using wipes. We're using like seat covers, covering the seats with plastic when we get in them. A lot of the shops, we've been on this run with Enterprise right now, and a lot of them are pre-wiping the cars as soon as they get there. So as soon as they come to the shop, they're wiping them all down with wipes. So that helps, but I'm still making sure my guys are covered and you know, because we're touching the dirtiest part of the car. Driver's door handle, get in, touch the steering wheel, turn the key, and the nasty window switches. They're the worst spots to be touching in that whole car. So make sure you guys out there are just protecting yourself. You know, this stuff is not a joke. You know, it's
and a lot of people say it's a common cold. I was that too. I thought, the common cold thing and it's a fever, and it is, but I talked to a guy he's kind of like he's a science teacher, and he's got some friends in the medical field and anything. And yeah, it's not crazy. You're going to get over it. If you catch it, you're going to get over it. But the thing is it's so contagious. And that's why they're taking the precautions. I think that everything shutting down is a little much, but man, in a way, I get that too. It's hard. It's tough. It's tough because we don't have all the information. We might think we do just because we read shit on Facebook.
There's so much shit going on. We don't even know.
Right. I mean, your wife's in that.
Yeah.
Field,
I mean,
it's, your boss, somebody that works in the White House. Right.
The problem with it all is, we've never seen anything like this spread so fast. Everybody's like, well, there's more deaths with the common flu. And I'm like, I learn a lot from my wife, and, it's spreading so fast, and the death rate is so high so fast. And that's the biggest problem, is we don't have a vaccine. We don't have an easy way. And they're not so much worried right now. I mean, they're worried about the deaths, but they're also worried about the hospitals, the healthcare system not being able to provide enough beds for people that are sick.
And keep up. Yeah. And I think that's probably their main concern, right? Because they're running out of the resources to take care of people.
Yeah.
Here
they're taking,
when we were talking,
they're opening 6 closed hospitals here. It's like $600 million or something. They're investing in 6 closed hospitals to reopen them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money I understand.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But, it's just kind of like China with them opening up a hospital in 10 days. You know what I mean? You're doing what you have to do to survive.
Yeah. Well, didn't you mention that there's was it cruise ships?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be
bringing cruise ships
a great option.
Oh, there you go. Somebody just commented. They're going to turn the cruise ships into temp hospitals in Florida.
It makes complete sense.
Great idea, man. Totally does. Everyone will have their own little cabin to isolate themselves in.
Yeah.
They could put them out to sea and just let them sit out there for a while.
Plenty of Corona beer. You'll be fine with the Corona beer. But
Hey,
it's
if
not.
it's
It's
just
not
a
a.
fever, I'll catch it and go on a cruise.
It's not a. The sad part is in our business. It's going to impact the local guys. It's going to impact the smaller guys that, for one, aren't prepared for the slow. If we do shut down, what do you obviously you're going to work on your back house, your in-house stuff on your business, but financially some of these guys, it's going to be super hard to survive.
Yeah, it is. And there's industries that are going to be way worse off than us too,
Oh,
in
yes.
some states, just somebody had this too. Somebody, Pennsylvania just shut down all list of
Yes.
businesses. And our was talked about it. And hey, do we qualify for that? Can we stay open? We're kind of walking that fine line. If you could stay open and if you could get people into the door, great. But
Yeah.
if everyone's mindset is somewhere else, I mean, I just, as long as people aren't panicking too much, I think if you market correctly, have learn about yourself and say, hey, like, everything's gonna be okay. It's not that crazy. I don't know. Everyone needs to kind of remain calm, because the last thing you want to do is freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, in what I understand, when they do these shutdowns, the hardest part is, and just like I just said, there was no traffic on Monday and Tuesday, and today was back to almost average traffic. And that's what happens is people get these shutdowns, they sit at home for as long as they can, and they're like, I'm going back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, people are cooped
And it's
up,
just
man.
natural.
They can't. It is just stay cooped up. Especially when
But
going to
I
your.
think, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult. You're at home all day. The only good thing is your vehicles are going to be clean. You can really organize the back of your vehicles with tools and be ready. It's going to take a little bit of time for this market to turn back around, because, I mean, all the auto auctions are closed. They're doing them over the internet only now, in Manheim here at least. And sales are down on cars. You got Ford, GM, Honda that have closed their plants.
Yeah.
This is going to be a much longer process than we expect.
What do you think is going to happen with the hail trail?
I don't know. I heard on the news they were talking about doing, what did they say? How did they say it? Something with being able to, you have to stay in your state to state. So if you're from Maryland, you have to stay in Maryland. If you're in PA, you have to stay in PA. If you get slammed in your state and you can't get any help,
well, you'll have a lot of work
if
for a
you're
long
working,
time.
if you're working.
Right.
My only worry with that is people are going to take the checks and cash them because they've been out of work for weeks. They're not working.
That's a huge one. They're going to keep the money.
Exactly. It's I don't know. It's Benny's saying lease returns are still hot. They're it seems like Enterprise. I know, talked to Benny's son today. Enterprise and a lot of the rental companies are cutting their fleets back. So I guess they're preparing too. I don't know. It's a crazy time, but I really think you need to just buckle down on your website. If you're trying to get into videos, this is the perfect time to try to figure it out.
Learn those things that you wanted to learn before, that you didn't have time to learn.
The tools are there.
Yeah. It'll be tough. And like you said, we just don't know how long. That's the thing. We don't know how long it'll last. So, man, be ready.
Yeah. And when it opens up, you'll be ready. You know what I mean? But you need to put that book time, is what I call it. even though you're on a computer or on your phone or a tablet. Book time down and hammer it out and finish. Get your Google My Business up. I mean, Mike's big on Google My Business. I am too. I mean, I post a couple times a week.
I'm learning. Yeah, I've got mine. I'm learning that. I just learned that when you post on there, it only lasts a week.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
Yeah.
So you got to keep on. Again, you got to stay adamant about posting content.
Geotagging your photos on Google My Business.
Learned how to do that too. That window is like permanent. I got it right here in my computer. That window is permanent. So any pictures I load, I just geotag them right away.
So there's a lot of tricks you can do. And the good thing is there's a lot of information out there. YouTube is a amazing platform to be able to learn how to do things.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook,
Instagram's great.
Google ads. I tried running Google ads this year and it really didn't do much for me. I had a really good response on Facebook and Instagram.
Me too. That's where I've had great responses when people call me out of the blue. I go, where'd you find me? And, half of them are like, I just saw you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Saw things scrolling Facebook.
Yeah.
And then the other half is like, I searched on Google, but they were searching, right?
Yeah.
They were already looking. But the other half literally just saw me as they were scrolling.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Now's the time to just hammer that, because that's all everyone's scrolling. That's all they're doing, scrolling.
And get organized. I mean, this is the downtime. This is what football players and baseball professional players do every year. When they're not playing, they're preparing for their season. It's the same thing now. They're making you prepare. That's all. They're doing something that all of us dent guys don't like to do. We like to get busy and then figure it the hell out. Now, you just are going to have to put the time in and figure it out.
I'm bummed that sports is off right now too, though.
Oh, it's a crazy place, man. It is just.
Dude, the Masters is supposed to be up. Watching reruns of basketball games and baseball games.
But I'll tell you, a lot of cool things are happening. I saw on Netflix, you can do a Netflix party now on Google Chromecast and watch a movie with your friends at your house. And what it does is it brings up a chat screen like this, so you can chat back and forth while you're watching the same movie. And I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. Awesome. And I said this to Ray. There's some local breweries here that are closed because they close all the bars and restaurants. And what they've done is they've converted from making beer, they're making hand sanitizer. And that's a whole perfect example of a shift.
Yeah.
And that's the same type of thing. I can tell you right now, all of my detail buddies are off the chains. Off the chains. They're telling me how crazy busy they are because people want their stuff clean because of this whole thing,
Are they doing that? The ozone stuff, ozone machines or whatever, and they've actually been FDA approved to disinfect, vehicles and stuff. They're killing it.
I think my buddy Derek says he hasn't been this nervous to go outside since the sniper. He's from Maryland, and there was a DC sniper. So,
careful pumping gas.
Exactly. But it's just this uncertainty, and when you're in your business and any business, you just have to shift and try to put your mind into the good stuff. Get in your Facebook, your Instagram, make posts. I'm a big supporter on the Over app. I make a lot of these thumbnails with that app. It's a free app. It works really, really well, and it's super easy. I like the super dent guy easy is what I say, something that any dent guy can figure out.
Right.
But,
see the opportunities, man.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know. It's that uncertainty.
All we could do is try new things or take advantage of the time, right?
Yeah.
Find opportunities, take advantage of the time, learn new things. Reconnect or be with your family.
Yeah.
spend quality time.
Look at you. You're spending quality time at home. So you're trying to readjust. I bet you she's not used to you being home year round either.
No, so it was funny because we were up in Don's shop, and I was telling them, they all knew that this was kind of my last hailstorm. And I was talking to the guys, going, "Look, man, ever since I met my wife, I've always been a hail chaser, so I was always gone for a big part of the year, and I'd come back on weekends or every other weekend or whatever. But I'm fixing to move back in and just be permanent. This is going to be a shift for both of us."
It's like learning over.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden it's like, spring's coming around, and she's probably thinking, well, isn't it going to hail soon? Well, now I got the shop, so I could get up and go to work. But
what were your expectations for 2020? Not counting what's going on now, what was your expectations?
When, like now or earlier in the year?
Before all this happened.
Before all this coronavirus stuff happened?
Yes.
My expectations were, because I did some research, and there are no brick and mortars around here in my area where I'm at. My expectations were, it's going to take a while. It's going to be tough that first year, but I really was motivated to work really hard on marketing and getting the word out there and educating the public. So I figured if I could work hard at it and get my name out there and people start learning what PDR is and, the whole thing, that maybe year 2 would be great. I think we're in a time where PDR is the public is slowly learning about what we do. And with the advancements that we have in technology and glue pulling and stuff like that, we're able to do more and bigger. So that was another thing. Like at MTE this year, dude, I bought collision stuff.
Yeah.
I upped on Cam Auto stuff and some of the Kiko stuff. And that's what I was buying. Because over the years, also talking to insurance companies, they're starting to recognize as well. So,
I've noticed the push to paint has gone up in the collision end.
Yeah.
A lot more push to paint.
PDR is a viable repair now.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that guys are fixing and they're posting and they're seeing it. Trust me, they're paying attention. So if you're pushing yourself and you're learning how to do the bigger stuff, you're taking the time to constantly learn. Look, I don't care how long you've been in this industry. There's always something to learn. You could always get better. I'm 20 plus years in the industry. Jim Mitchell puts out videos and I want to learn stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Educate yourself, push yourself, broaden your skills, learn how to do the bigger stuff, because that's where it's going.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And I say this all the time, that the new guys, I have a newer guy, Shane, he's been with me for a little bit of time, and he's getting better and better. And I'm like, you guys haven't made. And he's like, what do you mean? This shit's still hard. And I was like, bro, the technology out there right now is unreal. And I hired a new guy, David, and he's been out of the industry for, I guess, a couple years. And he's looking at my tools and he's like, what the hell is that thing? And I'm like, yeah, dude, we got to step your tool game up. You know what I mean? It's the innovation of tools is amazing. The other thing
so far.
Oh, it's bonkers. I mean, I think this MTE innovation for tools, everybody had new stuff. I mean,
yeah,
everybody besides Ray Sapno.
It wasn't ready yet. Damn.
It's coming.
I tried to get that stuff ready for MTE, but it just one thing after another, it wouldn't line up. I just couldn't make it happen. And you know me, I'm not going to put out anything that's half-assed. So
no. I did want to get into this while we have a little bit of time. We're going to run a little bit over. I wanted to get into Jim Mitchell's event.
Oh yeah, the workshop. Yeah.
It seemed like I know there's a guy in here, Adam Jones. He was there. I think Cliff.
He was in there. There's a couple people in here that are commenting. That were there. Dude, that was a great event. It was a lot of learning. I was part of I was helping teach with on the hail side of it, right? And then there was other stations. Cliff was doing the Stanliner stuff. Woody and Jim were doing the big smash stuff. And the one thing that I was really, really impressed with was a lot of the guys there were new and they were learning. And dude, they were so far ahead than we ever were at that stage. And a lot of it was because of, you know, the tools and the sharing of information and the videos that Jim is putting out. His videos are than most.
Mm-hmm. Seems like we've lost Ray here. Ray Sapnew is frozen in time. Well, I guess we're going to have to kick Ray here. Yeah, Ray is frozen. So, let's see if we can get Ray back here. Guess it was his time. So, you know, he was getting into Jim's event, and it looked like it was a really, really good event. It looked like there were a lot of guys there were trying to get information and learn and just grow. I mean, different techniques, different ways of doing it, and the tools were huge. Look at that, Mr. Dent Reaper's in here, and he's saying freeze Ray. Ray did freeze. He took a little bit of a break there. He's just napping. He's napping on his Corona he had. But I guess we're gonna call this one. I appreciate you guys coming on. It was a really good show. Got another really interesting guest next week. You know, this industry, you guys really need to be safe out there. There's a lot of underlining stuff that isn't really public. You really need to make sure your guys are being safe. Take care of yourself. I know we all want to make money, and it seems like the retail has really exploded because of people being off of work, like we said. So, be safe. Wear rubber gloves, mask, whatever makes you feel comfortable in the social distancing. And we'll all make it through this. You know, it's just something. We got Mr. Ray back. What's up, Ray?
Dude, what happened? That was
I
weird.
don't know. That Corona beer you're drinking over there must be the Corona.
I actually had to hold on a second. All right. Looks like this ain't working. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
All right.
I was just going over for them to be safe out there and protect themselves and take the right measures, even if the phone's ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
To make sure you have to look long term, and we're all going to make it through this. You know, we're all going to figure it out. And the good thing in this industry is we have a pretty good support system.
Yeah.
You know, guys you can reach out
Very
to and say, "Hey, I need some advice. I need some help, or I'm having an issue with this."
You know what? That's a very good point. More now than ever, and that was kind of what I was trying to touch on when we got cut off over at the workshop. Is the amount of help and advice at your fingertips nowadays. You could reach out to anybody. I mean, everyone knows I'm an open book. I'm always reachable. I'm always willing to help, give advice, or whatever. It's so abundant now and more prevalent than ever. We're in that age of everyone sharing information, which is, awesome. It was unheard of when we were.
It took a long time.
Yeah, it was unheard of when we were starting. We had to, somebody would walk up, you'd have to drop your tools and kick it under the car.
Yes.
And, pretend like you were just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
But not anymore. I mean, now guys are learning, like you said, guys are learning so much faster and quicker and easier than ever before because of what's available out there. And the resources are out there, and people could just take advantage of it, especially now in a time like this where, you're kind of lost. You don't know what to do, man. Reach out to people, see what, guys like you're putting on these podcasts and these shows. It's great, man, because we get to come on here and talk about sharing and what works for us, and I don't know, just get the discussion going.
A thing for me that I always say, and I say this to a lot of my buddies that are in different businesses, and they're like, man, I don't know how you do all this stuff. And I was like, passion drives me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's passion, dude.
It is.
You know, it
You
doesn't,
have to be.
it's all in the passion, you know, and you can show that in your own Facebook post. You know what I mean? You can really show, you know, you can see a change right now with all of the posts about the coronavirus and everybody being safe, which is great. I
Sure.
love educating your customer. The more you can educate your customer, the easier it's going to get for you to sell them.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to sell them as
sure.
hard.
And if
So
you're passionate, it's easy for you to educate them because you're passionate, right?
yeah,
It just comes naturally, you know. Like we could sit here and talk about dents with people that don't know anything about dents so easily.
yeah. There's 3 people in here that have watched the whole time that don't do dent repair.
Oh, really?
You know, so that I know that are commenting. There's more than that in here. How can people find you on social media, your website?
You can find me on Facebook, my Precision Dent Removal page. Instagram, for Instagram, I just merged my personal and business together because I kind of want it to be like an open book type thing. So my Instagram is Ray, REYS _view, VIEW, Ray's View. And I'll post everything from what I'm doing on a daily to my vacations and work stuff there, you know.
Yeah.
My website to my company is dentremovalchicago.com. Yeah, you can find me through any of those places.
And Ray's an open book, man. I mean, just reach out to him on Facebook Messenger. He'll respond.
For sure.
You know,
for sure. Many have helped me along the way, and man, I'm just paying it forward as much as I can.
You know, it's I don't know. I think I'll see you next at Anson Open House.
Yes.
You know, we'll have to drink some Coronas. You know, with rubber gloves and mask on. We're gonna be just fine.
Hell, man, I think they got enough whiskey down there to kill whatever.
Yeah,
you know, whatever
good
floating
stuff.
around.
There's some back here. That's what I said last week. I was like, if you guys run out of alcohol, if you get some of this, it'll take it right off.
I love that stuff. I need to get another bottle.
I just talked to Craig the other day and I said, can you just send me some TX? And he's like, I was like, I can't get it here. I really can't. So
well, we'll be stocking up when we get down there.
Yes, sir. Looking
forward to it, man. Anybody that's near there or has the means to go, I highly suggest going. It's going to be a really good time.
It always is, man. It's such a family atmosphere there. You know, it's just a chill. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even explain it.
They're family. That's the best way to put it, man. When you go down there, you really truly feel like family, man. Everyone's cool, and it's all, you know, PDR related. Everyone's got the same mindset. It's all positive and love and fun, good times.
And that's what we need right now is positivity.
Yeah,
you know.
Sure.
Remember, guys, make sure you take your PPE and get ready for the next few weeks. It's going to be a little challenging, but we're all going to make it through it. If you guys need anything, make sure you reach out to, you know, your support system out there of all the million dent guys out there.
Sure.
I appreciate you coming on, Ray. You know, it only took us a couple weeks to get it worked out. I had everybody reach out last week and they were like, what happened to Ray? And I was like, oh, he had something planned. I was like, he's got to open up a shop. I was like,
yeah,
he'll be on. We'll be fine. We've been talking about this for a year.
Yeah, for a long time. I'm glad we finally were able to have it. Thanks for having me on, man.
So I appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys that are watching this. We did go over a little bit, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And remember, guys, keep it real. I'll see you next week. See you guys
later.